All right, hello, this is Andrew Haskell on the Full Life channel. So in the spirit of technology connections and no effort November, in this video I'm going to describe how I've been using Obsidian and Anki to study during my medical school rotations. And this is a tour of Obsidian that I've been using. So I've been using this for about the last year in medical school to take my notes, and then I kind of noticed in my notes, I wasn't reviewing my notes, so they weren't super helpful for that. So I've also incorporated Anki as well, and I'll launch Anki here in a little bit to describe that. But some things. So first, I want to start off with the diseases page. So you can look up other videos on how to use Obsidian, but some things I want to highlight. So I have this diseases page. So for every disease, such as like acromegaly here, every disease has the word disease in it. And because it has the word disease in it, then it gets picked up by Obsidian to be a linked mention. So we can see here that in my database currently, there are 473 different diseases. But the nice thing about Obsidian is that it has this bidirectional linking in the note taking. So for example, I have this page called Peds, and this contains all my pediatrics information. Now, this is written in Markdown, and so because you can create headings with hashtags, then that shows up here in the organizer. So in the organizer, here's heading 1, but so each page then is organized. So here is my organization over here on the right-hand side that I have for the Peds page. So I have like notes for what to check for in a typical visit. What does APGAR stand for? And you can just click on APGAR to go there. If I click on med terms, these are common terms that come up or that have come up during the rotation that I take note of. There's also support for tables. And then I have related pathology. So if we go to pulmonary, here are some pulmonary pathologies that are pulmonary or renal pathologies or whatever. So pulmonary is here, so asthma. And then we can click on asthma. And then under asthma, it gives me this breakdown of information on asthma. I can click on the presentation, the diagnosis, or the treatment of asthma. And I can place all my notes here. I can place references here. It handles links very well. Also, if you're on like a different page on epiglottitis, but you want to get to asthma, you can just hit Control O and start typing asthma. Oh, not like that. Asthma. And there we go. And you're to that page. Now I did just create this stock page right here, but I don't want to have it. So I'm just going to click here and delete that file. So now that file doesn't exist anymore. I have also done this for drugs. So drugs. And then this is my page on drugs. But if I go to backlinks, these are how many drugs that are in here. And it organizes them just in alphabetical order. Like isotretinoin, for example, this would be. And you can also see that isotretinoin here is linked in under acne, dermatology, high yield bullets, peds, teratogen, and a topical retinoid, and unlinked in acne and whatnot. But we can go to the acne page, and here I have my notes about acne. I can look at my outline here. Now, when I make a new disease, and then Shift Enter to create a new page, I have these different templates. And I'll just add the disease template, and boom. So it comes up with this presentation, diagnosis, etiology, treatment. That's kind of how I like to think about them. And then again, I can delete it. I also want to show, though, my drug one. So if I scroll down here, then my drug template. So for every drug that I add, the things I want to know is, first it's going to put this drug in here. So it's automatically marking the drug as a drug. Mechanism of action, the uses, the adverse effects, and you can add more. Another one I'm working on building is drug class. And then here are the drug classes that I have in here. But we can also see where this. Now, unlinked mentions is where you've written the word drug class, but it's not linked yet. And you can go there and link it. So Obsidian even helps you find where you've written a specific term even though you haven't mentioned it. So here in like sodium handling, I put potassium sparing diuretics, but it's not linked to that page, but Obsidian will find it. And it's all text-based, and all these notes with all 400 diseases, with all 200 drugs, It takes about like 4 megabytes. It's not even the size of a gigabyte because this is all text files. So that's the Obsidian that I've been working on. I just finished the PEDS section. So on my PEDS page, I was adding all of my diseases. So I have like neonatal diseases here with like a brew, Down syndrome, hypothyroidism. And you can just click Control and it'll open up the page for you there. Or you can get bigger and go to that page and then just hit Control Alt back arrow and you can move forward and back. So that's kind of how I've been using Obsidian. Then I'm going to launch Anki here. Okay, I'm back and I've pulled up Anki. So I'm going to show a few things real quick. So Anki wise, these are just the decks in Anki, but what I want to show, okay, so Anki wise, I've just loaded up Anki and went into the browse feature. And in the browse feature, kind of how I use it is I will add new cards as I'm studying and going through practice questions. But really, I think of this as like a second set of notes. And it's within these notes. They're like notes with the flashcard component added to it. So there's not really a limit of how many flashcards you can have. But kind of sometimes, too, the goal is to put things together. So since we were talking about asthma in the Obsidian, I wanted to search asthma here in Anki, and this is what comes up. So these are the terms. So I don't have like a specific asthma card here, but here's something, right? Like the asthma diagnosis with someone who has asthma, the hospital diagnosis is status asthmaticus. But also there's this medical term called acute hypoxic respiratory failure. And then in this extra field here, you can add more information to it. And I really do like the close just because it has some good keyboard shortcuts. Let's see. I'm going to type in torch for like the torch infections in pediatrics. And I actually started building these big cards that have multiple things in it. So you have the information about toxoplasmosis and syphilis and CMV and rubella. But this shows up. This card has 10 different flashcards associated with this one. So it's keeping all that information together in my mind, but also I'm not quizzed on it all the time. So that is how I've been using Anki as well. So it's like a supplement. It's like the main notes database, but your notes are the Anki deck, if that makes sense. That's the idea. So just trying to simply throw something together. Hopefully it was entertaining and you learned something. Have a wonderful day.